going to take one of these stainless steel bottle openers and we're going to transform it into a customized one. So far what I've done is I spray painted one of them. I taped off this part because this is the part that's going to be coming in contact with the bottle cap and I don't want it to chip. I also will be avoiding laying epoxy in that area. So I spray painted both sides with a white Rust-Oleum paint. And now what you're going to need are some brown alcohol inks. I think I'll only be using this one, which is Latte. And you're also going to be needing a small medicine cup of rubbing alcohol. This is the one that I have, 91%, and a brush. We are going to create a Woodgrain look on the bottle opener now. So this is really easy to do. All you're going to do is open your ink, and I have a piece of cardstock laying down on my desk to protect it from the ink, and you should also actually be wearing gloves, so I'm going to put some on right now. This alcohol ink will stain, so you want to make sure that the area you're working on is protected. Let me put on some gloves really quick. Apply some alcohol ink to the surface of your bottle opener and dip your brush into the rubbing alcohol. Dab off excess alcohol onto a paper towel and then paint the ink to cover the surface of your bottle opener. What you want to do first is cover the entire bottle opener with an even coat before you go in to create your wood grain details. Okay, we're going to dip our brush into alcohol once again, dab off the excess, and then just continue to use different brush strokes to create our wood grain look. I don't have a certain technique. I just keep playing around with it until I like what I see. No wood grain is perfect, so you don't have to try and get it to be perfect. Just keep experimenting until you like what you see. Okay, this side is done. This side will have a quote on it. The back side, I will also do wood grain, but I will not need to be as detailed because it will contain a picture of my daughters and the picture will take up the majority of the surface. So I won't need to make these rings on the back side. So I'm using a sheet of Craftables reusable transfer tape. This piece was not new. You're gonna want a piece that you've used before, or if you have a new piece, stick it to your pants or to your shirt so that it's not super sticky, because you don't want to risk it pulling up the paint. I'm not sure if that can happen, but I think it's a possibility. So to avoid that, I'm using a sheet that's not super sticky, and I already have this printed, and also my Cricut cut it, and I just trimmed the paper down to size, as you can see. So like I said, this side will be the writing, so we are going to do that first. Okay, we're moving on to the photo side. You just simply remove the photo from its backing and place it onto your bottle opener. I'm trying to center it as best I can just by eyeballing it. Once you have it where you like it, you're going to press down and run your fingers over it to make sure that it is firmly attached to the bottle opener. Since we are going to be using epoxy, you do not want it to lift anywhere because it will create air bubbles and it does not look good with air bubbles. So I'm just going to continue to run my fingers over it to make sure that it's attached properly in every area, especially the corners. Okay, it's time to pour the epoxy now. I had no idea that my camera ran out of memory, but no worries. I have to do the same exact thing on the back side, so you'll be able to see what I do. But basically, I just pour some epoxy and then use the popsicle stick to spread it around, making sure that it hits all the corners, but you don't want to over pour to where it drips off the sides. And then you wait for that to cure, and I will show you what to do after that. Once you've let the epoxy cure, it's time to add liquid latex to this side to protect it so that when we flip it over, it's safe from getting ruined when we pour epoxy on the other side. I just use a Q-tip. I pour a little bit of the liquid latex over the surface, use the Q-tip to spread it all around, and then I wait for it to completely dry before I flip it over to add epoxy to the backside. This step is completely optional. I do it just to ensure that the project doesn't get ruined, and I only do this when I'm epoxying two sides of a project. If I would just be epoxying this side, obviously this step would not be necessary at all. The liquid latex is dry now, so I'm flipping my project over so that I can epoxy the back side. I am pouring the epoxy in the center and using a popsicle stick to spread it out to ensure all the corners are covered. I'm avoiding the little part that I left stainless steel. That is the part that will come in contact with the bottle caps, and if I put epoxy on it, I'm risking cracking the epoxy or damaging it. So we're leaving that free of epoxy. Okay, I let this cure overnight. It is dry now, so I am going to show you how we remove the latex from this side. And the reason why I put the latex is just in case epoxy drips off the corners, it sometimes can run onto the bottom and then it'll harden right there and it'll get ruined. If that were to happen with the layer of latex, it's simple. The latex keeps it protected and all you have to do is peel it right off. So I don't have to worry about any excess epoxy dripping on to this side of my bottle opener and having to sand it down to repair it. So that is it. This side stayed perfect. No epoxy dripped and ruined it. And that's how you make a custom bottle opener. I'm really satisfied with the outcome. I had this idea in my head. I had never seen anything done like this, so I thought it would be fun to try and see if it would work. This is made to be carried inside of a wallet, so hopefully the epoxy lasts and doesn't get ruined in there. I'll keep you all updated. I hope this tutorial was helpful. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll be back soon with more videos.